So as y'all know, I don't like getting cut off in the video, but it's cool. But before I go ahead and get into the message, so I was praying, and God said to me, I said, Lord, why do I have to be the one to experience things and seeing things? They may cause me to be hurt, you know? And he said to me, he said, it's not about the fact of the type of person you are, because he looks at our heart. He knows our heart. He put me in this situation. He put me in through these things for a reason, because he knew I was strong. Regardless, whatever storm that came my way, he knew that I was strong. Even when I stepped on faith, when I moved here, he knew I was strong. He knew I could handle it. And now it's like, wow. I said, Lord, I thank you. I thank you for what you're doing. Like, I thank you. I said, I didn't understand it. I didn't even know how strong I was. Like, a lot of times, I could have given up. I could have had a breakdown. Like, I could have been so broken to where I hold on to things, but I let things go. I don't let it get the best of me, you know? So he said that to me. He said, because you're strong. Wow, he give his battles to the toughest people. And I was like, wow. But so the three storms, before I get into it, I'm going to read them to you. There's a correcting storm, a protecting storm, and a perfecting storm. So coming out of Luke 8, verse 24 and 5, it says, then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. But he said to them, where is your faith? And they were afraid and marveled, saying to one another, who can this be? He commands even the winds and water, and they obey him. So regardless of what storm you're facing, just know that Jesus is with you, regardless of what it is. Because the storms of the correcting storm is when the book of Jonah, if you read the book of Jonah, where Jonah faced this kind of storm when he disobeyed God and tried to run from the task God had assigned to him. A great storm overtook his ship. Through that storm, the Lord took hold of his reluctant prophet and put him back on course. So a correcting storm is entirely the results of disobedience to God and his call. Maybe if you stole something or lied about something or cheated or whatever, and God allows you to reap the consequences of your actions. Okay? So that is what is a correcting storm. And a lot of times, if you are being corrected and being disobedient at the same time, I mean, it makes it worse. It gets no better. So whether you learn from your mistakes or change your behavior, when Jonah finally admitted his folly and repented, the storm stopped. Sometimes, however, we make the storm worse by our failure to respond properly. So liars, if you're lying or if you cheated or whatever, and you may continue, if you're continuing that thing, it ain't gonna get no better. It's like you're not learning nothing from it. You're just gonna continue in that storm. So we can't be disobedient, okay? So if God is trying to call you and get your attention from something, pay attention. The protecting storm is the storm that's designed from protecting us from something far or worse. And I had plenty of those. So when God instructed Abraham, take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and sacrifice him atop Mount Moriah, he sent the patriarch into a howling storm. Why did God command such a thing? The Bible tells us it was a test to see if Abraham would place his love for his son on a higher plane than his love for the Lord. And that's in Genesis. So in other words, the great man of faith ran the risk of making his son an idol. When it was all said and done, Abraham passed the test beautifully, and God prevented him from making his son's life. So the storm ended, and Abraham's faith and love for the Lord grew even stronger. Protecting storms may cause us a great deal of alarm and discomfort, but they shield us from something far or worse. And I just got out of one of those storms. I was in a protecting storm because I was in a situation, and I noticed that God send people your way to get you out of something. So say if I didn't listen, say if I'm just not paying attention to whatever it is you're going through or whatever, and he protected me for something far worse. So whatever had to happen happened for a reason, because if I was deeply into it, it could have been worse than it was. It could have been